Hello. This is my first time going live with this camera. Well, first time going live with this show too. But it's a new camera. So I'm hoping that there is sound and visual. There's a lot more visual than I expected. But we'll just roll with it today and play as we go along. Welcome to Tea with the Goddess. My name is Lila. I am the hostess. The topic today might be about feelings. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. Well, if you've looked at the last couple videos, it's been an interesting month or three. But so I think that the core of what I'll be wanting to talk through is feelings. Because in the happiness practice, feelings are very central, impactful, play a large part, put it that way. So our today is the Sleepy Time Decaf Lemon Jasmine Green Tea. So got a little bit of everything in there. Yes, I'm a little focused on green tea. I've heard it's good for your brain, and I like doing everything I can to help my brain. But it is late at night, even here on the West Coast. So we need the decaf. Well, I always need the decaf, and we need the sleepy time. So we will also be sharing a little Debbie zebra roll. Not too much sugar for this late at night, but we will. So let's just get started. Settle into the space and take a deep breath. I'm going to move the camera just a touch. And let's breathe again. All right. And nose. And exhale through the mouth. And allow the body to just settle. And inhale. And exhale. Feeling all the little bits just kind of flow. And as we inhale, we follow the breath in and down the back of the throat. And as we exhale, we increase the space around us. And inhale, feel the expansion, just stretch, relax all the muscles. And exhale, feel the attention come to this time and this place. In this sacred space which we are creating, naught but love shall enter in, and naught but love shall come from within. And into this space we invite the Divine Feminine to sit and chat and have tea with us. So in whatever form that she wishes to appear. in whatever way we wish to celebrate the divine today. We welcome. Welcome. So today we are celebrating the full moon, which will happen in 4 or 5 hours, I think. I meant to look that up before I started. And okay, so yes, 9 to 12 is 3, so 7 hours. It's earlier than I thought. So I believe it'll be about 7 hours if my math is working at the moment. It is the full moon, which is usually often about the culmination of things. Sometimes it is also about shining the light on things, being able to see everything in a different view. Because the light of the moon, as we talked about last time, is a spectrum than the light of the sun. So we are going to see things differently. Often the full moon is a time for readings and other psychic work, for getting visions, again, because it is about seeing and being able to view the project or the future or the heart's desire in the full light of the divine and of the feminine, which is a different view than the masculine. So that being said, and remembering that that's the other part, we are almost to spring. So we are at the tail end of winter. If you're like me, there have been a couple more storms. And snow on the ground, and hot, then cold, then hot, then cold. It's been a bit of almost a tempest, I would say. Not that the storms themselves have been that bad for me, but kind of a playing with the feelings. And it has been interesting. Yay, this leads us into the topic. It has been interesting to experience the way different parts of the cycle affect the feelings. For me, for the happiness practice, and please excuse me, like I said, it's been a weird week, month, year. And so I really am using this medium as a way to give life, give physicality in a way to all the mumble of thoughts that are going on in there, trying to coalesce them. I have realized that I love collaboration. I mean, I knew this, but I like it in everything. It is possible to be a collaborator in everything from, redecorating your house to figuring out how to decode a program to what you're going to have for dinner to, planting in the garden. There's so many things we can collaborate with, and I love that energy. I've realized I think that is why this form of expression is very helpful to me. I'm doing it for me. Because in a way it is a collaboration. I am putting it out there, but I am getting things back, both from the divine, but also from that universal energy that's out there. I believe in a form of time travel that this here now, even though we're live, some people may see it later. And for all the ones that weren't live, we are still together in this moment. And I hope that gave you a little goosebumps if you like getting goosebumps. So in this moment, in this space, we are together, regardless of the date on the calendar, the time on the clock, the position of the sun, whether it really is almost springtime for you. At this moment, in this moment, we are together. So we are collaborating to create this moment. We are co-creating whatever amazing things we are going to discover within ourselves today as I talk through this feeling cycle thing. So I said about feelings, I haven't really said about cycles. That is the other thing that's been rolling around in my head. And we have cycles all the time. Obviously, we are experiencing the end of winter and the beginning of spring. And even though there's a date, a clear-cut date, which actually it isn't clear-cut because sometimes it's the 20th, sometimes it's the 21st, sometimes it's the 22nd, sometimes it's the 19th. I just go by the 21st because that's easier for my brain. Then I don't have to freak out about not looking it up and not being there at the exact time. But the cycle flows. It doesn't just, honestly, last year it did. March 30 or March 21st, boom, all of a sudden it was spring. It was like a door had opened on one and closed on the other. There wasn't even that interim space in between. We stepped through a portal from winter time ending to spring. Things are blooming. Butterflies are out there. It was crazy. And it's kind of been that way for this year. But that is not usual in my experience. In my experience, it is a flow. Winter dies down and we get hints of spring and the smells of spring, and the snow gets heavier because there's more water and we can feel the energy. I mean, that's almost an anxiety. There's a desire to be outside more. There's more sunshine or more light anyway throughout the day. And so there's, that underlying things are waking up feeling, which can sometimes feel kind of anxious and agitating, but it is the feeling of spring. And we start planning and we getting ideas and want to do this and we want to go there. So usually the cycle flow, and one is dying as another is rising. And even for many of the belief systems that believe in reincarnation, there is a period in between the ending of one cycle of being corporeal and the beginning of another, where there's, decision making or reviewing, whatever, depending on the belief you follow. Because you kind of want to wrap one up before you start another. But our feelings do not necessarily follow in cycles the same way. Because our feelings get connected, at least mine do, I've been realizing, to the physical as well. So if we have a feeling that we associate with something, say every time birthday cake, if you enjoy having a birthday and enjoy going to birthday parties, then the taste of birthday cake connects with the memories of the fun and the laughter and the getting together, and it brings you joy. And if you consistently have a good time at birthday parties with birthday cake, then tasting birthday cake is always going to bring a good feeling. And so even if, 20 years down the road, all of a sudden birthdays are tough and cake is, not really agreeing with the body, there's still going to be that craving for cake in order to get that feeling of joy. It's a very simplistic version of all the things that are running around in my head, but that is part of how it feels to me. A very easy, simple example. Obviously, it is not just going to be for birthday cake. It is also applies to incidents, any incidents. That's what trauma is. The feeling comes back over and over and over again because the memory comes back over and over and over again. We feel it again in the bodies over and over and over again, even if the thing that triggered it or reminded us has nothing to do with it. Our brains are not, well, I can't say that our brains are not linear because I believe there are many linear thinkers, but mine does this. And there are so many things that an action can lead to. For example, we have so many things on our phone. Could be at one time, looking at your phone was just for answering it or answering a text message. Now the phone, or my phone, a text message can do phones. It can do lists for shopping. It does emails. It does books and games. So every time I reach for the phone with one intention, I often get sucked into a different path because that is what I'm used to doing. The feeling of the phone in my hand leads me to this thing I need to complete. But it wasn't what I was actually there for. So feelings are connected to the physical, and they don't necessarily cycle the same way. I think is part of the point I'm trying to express. The other part is that there's small cycles and big cycles. Maybe levels, like a computer game, like a game. Foundations of a house, spiral staircases. We encounter something. We go around through the 4 seasons. And we experience, the growth in spring and relaxation in the summer and the getting busy and harvesting, being really productive in the fall and kind of becoming really introverted in the winter. And then we do it again. And things will change with each cycle because, by the 50th cycle of spring, you know your reaction in general. You know how spring affects you. You know the things you like to do in the summer. Though honestly, by 50 years, that may have changed. But you get feelings and the desire to start something new. But each year, you're building on the foundation of the previous year. So it's not just the desire to start something new, it's also the memory of things that went before and the memory of things that didn't quite work out. And all of those feelings that are associated with them. And sometimes it can make everything feel really impactful. Like whether or not I get the right picture as the thumbnail for this video can feel huge, because not only do I have the experience of having put up previous videos and liking this and not liking that, but also I've seen other people. So the feeling that their videos come versus the feeling that I get when I see mine out there and wanting it to be a different kind of feeling, I feel like I'm talking in circles. So we're going to take a moment and we're just going to breathe. Maybe there was a nugget in there somewhere for you. I think there was a nugget in there somewhere for me. Just hasn't fully grown yet. So let us sit and listen and see what the divine has to say to us. Okay. Feel free to pause if you're still communing. Oh, you can't because it's live. Well, you can. It's the third part. Putting things out there versus sitting in wait in a way. When we look at other people's things, read other people's books, watch other people's videos, see their adventures, see someone else do something that we would like to be able to do, we associate a feeling with that. We see the confidence, perhaps, of somebody striding across the street. I want to feel like that. We don't know how they're actually feeling, but they exude a confidence that we want to feel. And so we know that there is that ability to feel that confidence, that solidness, perhaps, inside. So if you're like me, I try to reach out and grab that feeling. I put myself forward. I put myself out there. I, mind work it to, I want to kind of like leap into that feeling. If I am at this job or doing this thing, then I will be feeling this. And I will finally get to where I want to be. I'll feel like an adult. I'll feel like I'm confident. I'll feel less like an imposter. And again, with the cycles, okay, it's been a year that I've done this. I should be feeling this thing. It's been a year since I lost that. I should be over feeling this thing. We have expectations out here that our feelings are trying to reach to. And if we can just connect with it, we'll be able to drag it in and feel what we feel. But feelings aren't out there. They are in here. And to me, that's a very important distinction, because that's how focus and manifestation happens, as well as happiness. It is not what is out there. It is not reaching that point. It is not doing that job, because if I step into her shoes and walk across the street the same way she was walking across the street, or to the best of my ability, it's still me with my feelings of, am I doing it right? I don't think I look the same. Boy, these shoes are just a pain, and how did she walk that way? So it's still me in here, even though I projected or put myself into that feeling situation out there. So we bring the attention in and down, because the brain doesn't feel, it just thinks and words and allow the heart to open, heart center, and allow the feelings to come in. I allow myself to feel confident. I allow myself to feel abundant. I allow myself to feel giddy with success. What does that feel like to me? And that is how we get to where we want to be, because we're not reaching out, we're reaching in. It also means we have to allow ourselves to feel what we're feeling, so that we can say, I feel this craving because I think that birthday cake will help me feel better, because I remember it always brings me joy, or it did 20 years ago. But yesterday when I had it, I was not so happy at the end of the day, with the weird headache and the sugar crash. So I am aware of what the current feeling is. That cycle of joy has kind of changed now. And there's something new that will bring me that joy, that happiness, that peace. But I can remember that feeling, so I can connect with the joy, with the memory, and sit with that feeling, focus on the feeling, and allow things to come to me that will bring more of that feeling. I hope that made sense. I know it's there. So again, like I said, it has been interesting, and there have been so many things I've been experiencing. I am grateful that this full moon is culminating in returning to the happiness every time, flowing through each cycle of feeling and being able to return to the focus of happiness, to the knowledge of happiness. It is a lot of, past stuff has come up to evoke all those wonderful feelings, from childhood and grade school and high school, and all those things that we don't share when we're teenagers, but they stay there. And then they pop out at weird times. You're like, oh, is that what I was really feeling? And so we work through it in a different cycle. It is still there, but we are feeling it from a new perspective. So we get to move it on to a new season. Right, I am talking in circles now. But feelings inside are what brings our connection And when we're able to connect with the feeling inside, then we are able to be in this moment instead of stuck on a previous cycle. Okay, that's the wisdom for today. Thank you for sitting with us and drinking tea with us. It's actually a really good tea. And for being part of my collaboration, for being a collaborator. Thank you for being the one I am connecting with at this time to be able to verbalize better and thus solidify my thoughts and philosophies for happiness, and how feelings are really the part, and how cycles never end. Like the seasons, the years, they're going to be different. They're going to impact differently. And we are going to experience them a little differently each time because we have a history. But things keep going in different levels. They just start evening out. So, today's card, this is from the Labyrinth Wisdom cards by Tony Christie. It's a beautiful deck. Is Weave Your Destiny. And it's a spider on a web. You create your destiny. Start weaving your own path. We create our destiny. It is time for each of us to start weaving our own path. To do it from in here, because the spider's silk starts inside the body, and they take it with them wherever they go. And then things come to the web and get stuck in it. Things are attracted. So apropos. I love mysticism. So yes, we are in charge of our destiny. We get to weave our own path. We get to feel what we feel, and then focusing in here, choose what we want to feel next, so that we attract more things that bring that feeling. So cycles that are darker, sadder, heavier, are more balanced and feel lighter. So we're more connected to the love. Thank you. I hope you have a fabulous evening and enjoy the full moon.